Hey guys, I hope you're having a good week. Welcome to our online lecture covering section B review. So it's another little multiple choice cumulative review, just 8 questions. I've had a couple questions from you guys that I'm going to go over, and I have a couple that I want to go over just because I think they're a little tricky, but most of it, if you've retained a lot that you've learned in class, you can do a lot of it with mental math, but I did put these formulas up there just in case you wanted them. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and get this over with, and then I'll tell you what to expect the rest of the week. Okay. Number 1, the perimeter of a rectangle. We have the given sides of 3x plus 10, and we have the shorter side that they show on the diagram is x minus 7 units long. We know the opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. So I've got 2 sides that are going to be 3x plus 10, and I have 2 sides that are going to be x minus 7. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides of my rectangle I need to add together to find the perimeter. And we know how to combine like terms and add variables together, right? So we have 3x plus 1x plus 1x. We can add those together because they're like terms. We get 8x. Obviously our whole numbers are like terms. We have 10 plus 10 is 20, minus 7, 20 minus 14 is 6. Very good. So I'm left over with 8x plus 6, and that is the perimeter of my rectangle, which is C on your answer key. And your answer key is actually right this time. Sissy, please don't scare everybody. Hey, can you hush? I know you're trying to protect us, but shh. Do I need to go put you in the bedroom? It's like you guys in class. Just little interruptions to keep us on our toes, right? Okay. Number 2, we have a circle. They want us to find the area. Area of a circle, they reminded us, is pi r squared. And they told us the radius of this circle is 6 inches. So I'm going to do 6 squared is 36. I'm going to use my calculator, multiply that by pi with using the pi button on my calculator. So 36 times pi is 113.09. They say round to the wholest number. So 113 units inches squared. Our area is written with squared units. Very good. All right, number 3, they want us to find the circumference of a circle with a radius of 4 meters. Circumference is 2 pi r. I'm going to plug in a 4 for the radius. 2 times 4 is 8, so on my calculator, I need 8 times pi. And I get 25.13. All the answer options have decimals to the nearest 10th place, so I'm going to round that to the nearest 10th and get 25.1, which is B. All right, 4 and 5, you can use the midpoint formula if you'd like, and I put that here. The midpoint formula simply takes the x coordinates and finds the average, or the middle of them, and takes the y coordinates of 2 points and averages them or finds the middle. So it finds the midpoint of your 2 coordinates. You can do that, but also on 4 and 5, you can just kind of mental math it. So for example, on number 4, they tell us that we have m at negative 3, 8, and we have n at negative 7, 6. They want us to find the midpoint. So let's start with x, and let's say how many units are in between, or what's the distance in between negative 3 and negative 7. So I have 4 units in between. If I was on a number line, it would take me 4 units to get from negative 3 to negative 7, right? What's the average of that? What's 4 divided by 2? Is 2. So my midpoint is going to be 2 units away from negative 3. So negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. So my midpoint is going to be at negative 5 for the x position. Now for y, to get from 8 to 6, I go 2 units, right? 2 divided by 2 is 1. So the middle point between 8 and 6 is at 7. And that is my midpoint, negative 5, 7. That's pretty easy, right? That's the answer F. All right, so 5 is kind of the same concept, except they give you one endpoint and the midpoint, and they ask you to find the other endpoint. So number 5, they say I have segment PQ. K is my midpoint. P is at negative 9, negative 4. Always draw yourself a little image if you need to help you. K is at negative 1, 6. Where's Q? What are the coordinates of Q? Okay, so I need to find the distance in both the X and Y position to get from P to K. And then I need to add that value to my X and my Y, and it will put me at Q. So let's do that. So if I go from P to K, from negative 9 to negative 1, I have to go 8 units, correct? So I'm going to add 8 units more to negative 1, and that's going to be where Q is at in the X position. So negative 1 plus 8 is 7. Now how many units are in between on the Y-axis, the P and the K? So from negative 4 to 6. If I was on a number line, I would have to go 10 units, correct? So I'm going to add 10 more units to the 6, and I get 16. So Q is at 716, which is answer C on your review. Okay, number 6, what is the distance to the nearest whole number from K to P? They give you a coordinate grid there. Now, what I want you to see is, yes, I can plug in all the necessary digits to my distance formula, and I can find the distance using the distance formula. But since I have a grid supplied to me, I can easily see that I can use the Pythagorean theorem there, right? I can draw myself a right triangle. And it's up to you what you want to do, but distance formula here, I would plug in K is at 5, 6. P is at 1, negative 4. So this would be my X1 and my Y1. This would be my X2 and my Y2, if I called this my first point and my second point. I can plug that in and I can follow order of operations and get the answer. Or I can simply count from P to K on the X-axis. I have to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a right triangle, and I have P here, K here, 4 units.